A very good afternoon. You're watching the midday news on Rajya television, where we get you the biggest developing news stories at the top of this hour. I'm Aishwarya Kapoor, and these are the headlines. BIMSTEC summit concludes with the adoption of Kathmandu Declaration. MOU on grid integration paving way for buying and selling electricity among member states signed. Sri Lanka handed over chairmanship of the grouping. Law Commission favours holding simultaneous Lok Sabha and Assembly polls, recommends the changes in Constitution and electoral law. In draft report on holding the mammoth exercise says further discussions needed with all stakeholders. Government squashes rumours in several sections of social media on a 6-day holiday for banks in the first week of September. Says the banking activity will continue unimpeded. Adds ATMs in all the states to be fully functional. Supreme Court stays declaration of results of a Staff Selection Commission combined graduate level and senior secondary level exams for 2017. Says it cannot permit people benefiting from SSC exam scam to get into service. Observes that prima facie recruitment system and exams are tainted. And Indian women's team to go for gold against Japan in the hockey finals at the Asian Games. Team in finals after a gap of 20 years. Women's squash team enter finals after beating Malaysia. First up, let's get you all the news from the BIMSTEC summit in Kathmandu. The two-day BIMSTEC summit in Kathmandu concluded today with the adoption of the Kathmandu Declaration, and an MOU on grid integration was signed during the concluding session. Also on the concluding day, Sri Lanka was handed over the chairmanship of the forum. The 7-member grouping consists of India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bhutan and Nepal.
I am pleased to express sincere thanks to all the delegates for signing the Memorandum of Understanding on the establishment of BIMSTEC grid interconnection. I am confident that the MOU will promote cooperation in energy sector between member states. I also thank all BIMSTEC member states for undertaking necessary efforts to complete the signature procedures. Since there is no comment or amendment to the draft declaration, may I propose that the 4th BIMSTEC Summit declaration be adopted as a whole by acclamation. As I see no objection, may I consider the 4th BIMSTEC Summit declaration is adopted by acclamation. It is so decided. It has been more than 4 years that Nepal has carried out the responsibility of the chair of BIMSTEC. We hope we have done our best with our capacity to serve in the best interest of the organization. As per the BIMSTEC practice, I have the honor and pleasure to announce that the government of Sri Lanka is willing to accept the chairmanship of BIMSTEC after the conclusion of the 4th summit. I have the honor to invite His Excellency Maithripala Sirisena, President of the Democratic Socialist Republic of Sri Lanka, to join me to take over the chairmanship of BIMSTEC.
I wish to thank all member states for the trust and confidence placed in Sri Lanka. I wish to congratulate Nepal for hosting a very successful fourth BIMSTEC summit and for the warm hospitality afforded to all of us. Sri Lanka looks forward to implementing the ambitious agenda this summit has set for us. I look forward to welcoming all of you to Sri Lanka. Thank you very much.
And earlier in the day, BIMSTEC leaders met in a retreat format, and Prime Minister Modi today will also visit the Pashupatinath temple later in the day, where he will inaugurate a 400-bed dharamshala built with Indian assistance at the temple premises. All right, let's get more details on the BIMSTEC summit that has concluded today. We have with us our colleague Akhilesh Suman joining us from the newsroom. Akhilesh, the BIMSTEC summit has concluded with the adoption of the Kathmandu Declaration, and we understand this declaration is expected to enhance the effectiveness of a BIMSTEC Secretariat by engaging in various technical and economic activities in the region. So tell us more about the declaration first.
Yeah, actually, it's a really heart-touching BIMSTEC 4th summit, and the way I was seeing that Mr. K.P. Sharma Oli, who was the chair of 4th BIMSTEC summit, you know that it's really, I'm seeing the enthusiasm and the body language among all the present heads of governments of the BIMSTEC nations, and it also includes new conglomeration people like Myanmar and Thailand, who had not been accommodated in South, SARC. So now they are part of the BIMSTEC in big way. And what declaration has come? It is 18-point plays and then 30-point sectoral cooperation program. So it's like a comprehensive, that charter. It's like a comprehensive charter that how BIMSTEC nations will cooperate. And you know that these are the nations who had been victim of colonization for a long time. And when they got rid of colonization, there had been internal conflict, strife, and also they had been victim of neo-colonization. So now I think, that these nations are coming together, and these nations have come together in a way that they are condemning terrorism that has been major impediment in development of this area. So I think one of the gelling points is this, that anti-terrorist mindset is there in this whole region and in the agenda of everyone, and it is not in the written words. No country in the BIMSTEC had ever been associated with any sort of terrorism, unlike SARC, that SARC had failed had been failing for a long time because of terrorism being perpetrated by Pakistan. So in contrast to that, BIMSTEC has all the agenda of development, and there is a craving among the heads of governments in this area and also in the people that how they can correlate, how they can connect to the whole world, and how they can see the rays of development in their region. And the host Nepal is also dreaming for a long time to come out of the most poor nations category. So these are the countries who are striving, but they had not been able to cooperate among their neighbors because of that terrorist onslaught perpetrated by on them. Yes. So now BIMSTEC has come out. I think that it is a very ambitious agenda and it's a big dream. And what I can see today in the speeches of Mr. Sirisena, who will be new chair of the BIMSTEC, I think that there is a new ray of hope in the whole conglomeration. And once Myanmar and Thailand is also coming together and creating a bonhomie with the South Asian, rest of the South Asian nations, I think it is a new chapter in the whole region. Right, and they have declared this is a regional grouping, not a sub-regional grouping that many experts were telling till yesterday that it is a sub-regional. They are asserting themselves as a regional grouping at par with any organization in the world. So I think it has a very ambitious agenda, and yes, I think it's a very positive vibes coming from all the heads of the government, and it is going to be successful in coming days, given the fact that everyone is trying to climb the boat of development and prosperity for their people in a a peaceful manner.
It is very interesting that
resolving
you
their issues
mentioned
in a
about
peaceful manner.
development, Akhilesh, because
Yeah.
this MOU on grid integration,
Right.
paving a way for buying and selling electricity among the member states has been signed today. So tell us the significance of this critical, important MOU that has been signed today.
Right, you know that till now also there had been cooperation between India and Nepal. India is giving electricity to Nepal in big way, and Bhutan is generating energy, electricity, and giving to India in a big way. So it has become a model of how we can exchange electricity trans-border. So this needs to be expanded further. Like Bhutan, if Bhutan has extra energy, it can also give to other countries like Bangladesh, like Myanmar, and the same way Nepal has lots of water, but it is unutilized. So it can also sell electricity in the coming days, and India can be one of the biggest buyer of that electricity, and it can also go to Bangladesh and Myanmar, up to Thailand. And this is a major thing. Like Bhutan, Bhutan has also been accommodated in mountain economy, and Nepal will also have a mountain economy. So considering these two facts,
yes,
electricity grid and mountain economy that has been added in this whole agenda,
yes,
I think it is going to change the whole atmosphere of development in these hilly states like Bhutan and Nepal. They are also landlocked. So they must be feeling, I think, good that these countries, other BIMSTEC countries, are recognizing their geographical specification, and also they are, in a way, that they are coming to the mainstream of this whole region. Like if you get access to the Bay of Bengal, it also gives them a major, say, to connect with the ASEAN nations also. India anyway has a big, the sea shores everywhere.
Yes.
So they have got major access now either from India, or they can also go to Bangladesh. So I think electricity grid is one of the major, aligning factors, because electricity poles, if it is there,
yes,
wires, if it is there, you have to accept that, yes, we are connected. We are connected not only by physical geography, but also by wires. And it gives more confidence to the people of both the countries, because electricity flows always.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much, Akhilesh, for all those updates there and putting things in perspective for us on the Kathmandu declaration that has been signed by the BIMSTEC nations today. And earlier, Prime Minister Modi also held several bilateral meetings with the BIMSTEC leaders. He met his Thailand counterpart, during which the two leaders reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral ties, including ways to strengthen cooperation between India and Thailand. And the Prime Minister termed the talks as productive. He also met Myanmar President Wing Mint and discussed ways to strengthen bilateral cooperation. The areas included development cooperation and energy. The Prime Minister also met the Chief Advisor to the interim government of Bhutan. And earlier on Thursday, the Prime Minister held bilateral meetings with Sri Lankan President Maithripala Sirisena and his Bangladeshi counterpart Sheikh Hasina. India and Bangladesh also reviewed the entire gamut of bilateral ties, including ways to boost economic and cultural cooperation. And according to sources, Prime Minister also presented BIMSTEC leaders unique gifts from the northeastern states. The gifts comprise stoles and shawls depicting traditional motifs from the northeastern states. The gifts underscore the development potential of Northeast region through enhanced connectivity and trade in commerce in the BIMSTEC region. And Prime Minister Narendra Modi has appealed to the BIMSTEC member nations to ensure regional peace and security for the development of the entire region. And speaking at the inaugural session of the 4th BIMSTEC summit in Kathmandu yesterday, Prime Minister Modi also urged the nations to unite to combat terrorism, cross-border crime and drugs.
Prime Minister Modi made a strong pitch for enhanced regional connectivity at the 4th BIMSTEC summit in Kathmandu on Thursday. Addressing the inaugural session of the summit, Prime Minister Modi said that there was an opportunity to enhance connectivity in trade, economy, transport, digital and people-to-people engagement.
मैं मानता हूं कि सबसे बड़ा अवसर है कनेक्टिविटी का, ट्रेड कनेक्टिविटी, इकोनॉमिक कनेक्टिविटी, ट्रांसपोर्ट कनेक्टिविटी, डिजिटल कनेक्टिविटी और पीपल टू पीपल कनेक्टिविटी। सभी आयामों पर हमें काम करना होगा।
Prime Minister Modi also praised the BIMSTEC multinational military exercise in India next month. Army chiefs of BIMSTEC nations are slated to meet next year to hold talks.
क्षेत्रीय इंटीग्रेशन तथा आर्थिक प्रगति और समुद्र के लिए हमारे इन साझा प्रयासों की सफलता के लिए यह आवश्यक है कि हमारे क्षेत्र में शांति और सुरक्षा का वातावरण हो.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi said that India is committed to working with BIMSTEC member states in critical sectors and to combat terrorism and drug trafficking. He also announced scholarships to students, researchers and professionals from the BIMSTEC member states to study at the Nalanda and other universities. The Prime Minister invited all BIMSTEC leaders to attend the International Buddhist Conclave to be held in India in August 2020 as guests of honor.
अगस्त 2020 में भारत इंटरनेशनल बुद्धिस्ट कॉन्क्लेव की मेजबानी करेगा. मैं सभी बिम्स्टेक सदस्य देशों को इस अवसर पर गेस्ट ऑफ ऑनर के रूप में भागीदारी का निमंत्रण देता हूं.
Nepal Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli condemned terrorism in all its forms and urged all member nations to boost trade cooperation.
In defeating terrorism in all its forms and manifestations, we must combat all other transnational organized crimes through an enhanced level of cooperation and coordinated efforts.
The BIMSTEC is a regional grouping comprising India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Bhutan and Nepal. Prime Minister Modi said this region has become a meeting point for India's neighbourhood first and Act East policies. Akhilesh Suman's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
And in midday news, time for a very short break. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Tales that inspire. Stories of social change. A salute to diversity. Promoting public discourse. Events that motivate. Inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries.
Welcome back after the break. On to the other top story this hour. The Supreme Court has adjourned petitions challenging the constitutional validity of Article 35A to 19th of January 2019, that is next year. The centre and state urged the court to hear the matter only after the local body elections are scheduled for December in the state, as any debate and discussion on Article 35A will have direct repercussions on the law and order in the state. The local body polls in the state will be held in 8 phases beginning from September and it will continue till December. The provisions, Article 35A of the Constitution, bars Indian citizens other than those who are permanent residents of Jammu and Kashmir from seeking employment, settling in the state, acquiring immovable property, among others. The top court is hearing a batch of pleas seeking quashing of the article.
The last date, if you remember, on the last date also they had prayed for the adjournment on the ground of the local body election, and local body election in the state of Jammu and Kashmir has not been held for quite a long time. Therefore, they have given importance to this election and they have sought deferment of this issue.
And the Supreme Court has stayed the declaration of results of the SSC Combined Graduate Level Exam for 2017 and the SSC Combined Senior Secondary Level Exams 2017. The Apex Court has said that prima facie, the entire SSC system and examination are tainted. The court also said that it cannot permit people benefiting from the SSC examination scam to get into service. The banks will remain open and banking activity will continue unimpeded in the first week of September. Earlier, a rumor was circulating in several sections of the social media that the banks will be closed for 6 days in the first week of September. It caused undue panic among the general public, and banks will only observe holidays on Sunday and second Saturday. Monday, that is the 3rd of September, is not a pan-India holiday, and banks only in some states where a holiday is declared under the Negotiable Instruments Act 1881 will remain closed. Even on days like that, ATMs in all the states will be fully functional, and there will be no impact on online banking transactions as well. The banks have been advised to ensure that a sufficient cash is available for dispensation from the ATMs. And today is the last day for filing of income tax returns for the year 2017-18. However, people in Kerala have an extension till 15th of September following the massive floods in the state there. Meanwhile, IT returns can still be filed after 31st of August, but with a penalty ranging from 5,000 rupees to 10,000 rupees, depending on the degree of delay. And the Law Commission has suggested 3 options to hold simultaneous Lok Sabha and Assembly polls, but said that several points still remain to be addressed. The Commission came out with its draft report on holding the mammoth exercise in a public appeal. It said that though many of the impediments in achieving synchronization of general and assembly elections have been addressed, some of the points would still remain to be pondered upon. It asked all the stakeholders to suggest whether holding simultaneous elections by any means tinkers with the democracy, basic structure of the constitution or the federal polity of the country. It said that various committees and commissions have made suggestions to deal with the situation of a hung parliament or an assembly where no political party has a majority to form the government. Now, these panels have proposed that the Prime Minister or the Chief Minister may be appointed or selected in the same manner as a Speaker of the House is elected. It said that after detailed discussions, the Commission has come to the conclusion that holding simultaneous elections would be ideal as well as desirable. But a workable formula is required to be provided in the Constitution. It also asked what other articles of the Constitution may require amendment other than those discussed in the draft report. It also wanted to know whether its recommendations violate the constitutional scheme. It further said that there is a need for further discussion and examination on the matter involving all the stakeholders once again before making the final recommendations to the government. Former Bihar Chief Minister Rabri Devi and RJD leader Tejasvi Yadav were given bail today in the IRCTC scam case. The court granted bail to both of them on a personal bond and a surety of 1 lakh rupees each. The case pertains to alleged irregularities in granting operational contract of 2 IRCTC hotels to a private firm. Lalu Prasad, who is also a co-accused in the case, did not appear before the court as he is lodged in a Jharkhand jail in the fodder scam. The CBI had filed the case in the charge sheet in April this year. News from Kerala now, where Chief Minister Pinarayi Vijayan has said that the state government will approach Malayalis across the world to collect funds for rebuilding Kerala. He said this at a press conference in the state capital today. He also announced help for small-scale traders for whom a loan of 10 lakh rupees will be arranged. People will get a 1 lakh rupees interest-free loan to purchase household items. Now, this amount will be allotted through the Kudumba Shri mission. The state cabinet has also decided to appoint a high-level committee to rebuild Pamba town and to complete work in the Sabrimala temple before the start of the pilgrimage season. The cabinet also decided to appoint international consultants KPMG as a partner in rebuilding the state. Meanwhile, Union Health Minister JP Nadda reviewed the flood relief measures with the senior officials in New Delhi yesterday. An official release said that Nadda also spoke to Kerala Health Minister and assured her of the continued support of his ministry in the ongoing flood relief measures. Meanwhile, Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan has approved a proposal to replace LPG cylinders at a subsidized rate, which were lost during the recent floods. Now let's get you all the action from the ongoing Asian Games. It was good news for India because the Indian women's squash team today defeated Malaysia to enter the finals today. An Indian boxer, Vikas Krishnan, has settled for a bronze medal in the Asian Games. He was declared medically unfit to fight his semi-final bout due to a cut on his left eyelid, which was sustained earlier in the event. He has, however, become the first Indian boxer to clinch 3 successive Asian Game medals. And Indian women's hockey team will be taking on Japan in the finals today. India defeated China 1-0 in the semi-finals, and it reached the final of the Asian Games after 20 long years. And on Thursday, Jenson Johnson claimed a gold medal in the men's 1500 meters event. Johnson clocked 3 minutes and 44.72 seconds to claim the top honours ahead of Iran's Amir Mora. And in 4x400 meters women's relay team event, the Indian team comprising of Hima Das, Emar Purvamma, Sariben Gaikwad and V. Koroth won the gold medal. And in 4x400 meters men's relay, the men's team claimed the silver medal. And Piyush Chitra bagged the bronze with a timing of 4 minutes and 12.56 seconds in the women's 1500 meters final. In discus throw, Seema Punya bagged the bronze medal. She covered a distance of 62.26 meters to claim the medal. Let's now take a look at the medals tally. India is right now placed 8th in the medals tally with 59 medals that include 13 gold, 21 silver and 25 bronze medals. And with that, we wrap up this edition of Midday News. Thanks for watching.